The war in Ukraine grinds on relentlessly. Intelligence suggests Russia may plan a new offensive. U.S. Senators Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal warn of this. They delivered their stark message on Sunday, June 1, 2025. They believe President Putin might be stalling peace talks. His aim could be to prepare a summer military attack, or perhaps an offensive in the early fall months. The coming 2 weeks are therefore extremely critical. These days could significantly define the war's future path. The situation requires immediate and focused attention. The two senators recently completed a vital trip to Kyiv. This impactful visit occurred on Friday, May 30, 2025. In Kyiv, they held discussions with President Volodymyr Zelensky. They talked about the urgent crisis facing his nation. The senators also toured areas heavily hit by Russian bombs. They witnessed firsthand some of the worst destruction. This direct experience deeply affected their understanding. Their mission to galvanize support became even clearer. They saw the resilience of Ukrainians amid devastation. The images of ruin underscored the brutal reality. From the war-torn capital of Kyiv, they flew to Paris. There they met with French President Emmanuel Macron. This important meeting took place on Sunday, June 1st. Their strategic discussion lasted for a full hour. President Macron is reportedly 100% aligned with them. He fully supports their strong and urgent message. They agree that Putin's aggression must be decisively countered. Unity among Western allies is paramount at this juncture. France's continued support for Ukraine is steadfast. This international consensus is crucial for Ukraine's defense. The senators' diplomatic mission carried a clear purpose. They aimed to share their grave threat assessment widely. They spoke with key allies about the looming dangers. The war's dark shadow continues to lengthen over Europe. Russia's ultimate strategic plans remain deliberately opaque. However, the fear of further escalation is undeniably real. Traditional diplomacy faces an incredibly difficult test. The international community watches with bated breath. The senators are determined to ensure the world acts. They believe inaction is not an option now. Senators Graham and Blumenthal are pushing for strong action. They champion a new bipartisan U.S. sanctions bill. This bill aims to cripple Russia's ability to fund war. Its core mechanism involves imposing very high tariffs. These tariffs would be set at an unprecedented 500%. This measure is designed as a powerful economic deterrent. The goal is to cut off vital revenue streams for Moscow. Such financial pressure is deemed essential by the senators. They hope it will alter Russia's strategic calculations. The bill represents a significant escalation in economic measures. The proposed 500% tariffs target specific Russian exports. Countries continuing to buy Russian oil would face them. The same applies to purchases of Russian gas and uranium. Other significant Russian exports are also included. Nations like China and India are major purchasers. They currently account for about 70% of Russia's energy trade. The bill intends to make these purchases economically unviable. This would severely impact Russia's primary income source. The senators argue this is necessary to stop the aggression. It is a bold attempt to use economic power globally. Senator Graham described the proposed legislation vividly. He called it the most draconian bill I've ever seen. This statement highlights its exceptional severity. The bill reportedly has strong bipartisan backing in the Senate. Around 41 Republican senators are said to support it. An equal number of 41 Democratic senators also offer support. This unity shows the serious view of Russia's actions. It crosses typical political divides in Washington, D.C. Such consensus is rare on major foreign policy issues. It signals a robust American resolve on this matter. The legislative path for the bill is becoming clearer. President Donald Trump was asked about it last Friday. He stated, "I don't know, I'll have to see it." However, Senator Graham noted it was drafted with Trump's advisors. This suggests potential, if cautious, executive branch alignment. Ukrainian military leaders are expected to brief the U.S. Congress. This briefing will provide crucial context for lawmakers. A vote on the sanctions bill could follow this briefing. The outcome will be watched closely by allies and adversaries. It could mark a new phase in the economic war. The war in Ukraine has caused immense human suffering. A particularly horrifying aspect is the plight of children. Nearly 20,000 Ukrainian children face a terrible fate. They have been forcibly deported to Russia, reports indicate. These estimates come from Ukrainian officials and Yale researchers. This act constitutes a grave breach of international law. It is a profound tragedy for the children and their families. The international community is urged to address these crimes. Efforts to locate and return these children are paramount. The scale of these deportations is truly shocking. The senators witnessed the war's brutality up close. Senator Blumenthal described visiting mass grave sites in Bucha. This town became a symbol of Russian atrocities early in the war. Civilians were executed there in cold blood. The evidence of war crimes is extensive and deeply disturbing. Such experiences reinforce the need for accountability. The memories of these horrors fuel the drive for justice. The human cost of this conflict is intolerably high. These atrocities must not be forgotten or go unpunished. The world has a duty to remember and to act. Meanwhile, diplomatic efforts continue, albeit with skepticism. Peace talks between Ukraine and Russia are scheduled again. They are set to resume in Istanbul, Turkey. This round of talks is slated for today, Monday, June 2, 2025. However, Ukrainian officials expressed deep reservations. The U.S. senators share this cautious, pessimistic view. There is a strong belief that Moscow is not negotiating seriously. Russia has not yet submitted any credible peace proposal. This pattern raises serious questions about its intentions. The talks might be a facade for other motives. Many observers fear the peace talks are a stalling tactic. This view is held by both Ukrainian leaders and the U.S. senators. They suspect President Putin is using dialogue to buy time they believe he needs to prepare a new offensive. This aligns with warnings of a summer or fall campaign. If true, the Istanbul talks offer little hope for peace. They might merely serve Russia's military preparations. This cynical exploitation of diplomacy is deeply concerning. Genuine peace requires genuine commitment from all parties. Right now, that commitment from Russia seems absent. The core message from Senators Graham and Blumenthal is stark. They believe Vladimir Putin is delaying peace for war. He is using the negotiation period to regroup his forces. A new major offensive in Ukraine could be imminent. The next few weeks, they stress, are absolutely crucial. Decisions made now will have long-lasting consequences. The world must recognize this dangerous possibility. Complacency at this stage would be a grave mistake. Vigilance and preparedness are essential for Ukraine's allies. The alarm sounded by the senators needs to be heeded. The proposed U.S. sanctions carry significant implications. If this draconian bill is passed and implemented effectively, it could severely restrict Russia's economic capabilities. The aim is to cripple Russia's war economy directly. This would be achieved by targeting its main revenue energy exports. Cutting off these funds could limit military resupply. It could also degrade Russia's ability to sustain prolonged conflict. Such economic pressure is a key tool for the West. It is a non-military means of exerting powerful influence. The effectiveness will depend on global cooperation. The current crisis underscores the need for international unity. Solidarity in confronting Russian aggression is paramount. President Macron's alignment with the U.S. senators is positive. It shows that key European powers understand the threat. The bipartisan nature of the U.S. sanctions bill is also vital. It demonstrates a united American front on this critical issue. Such cohesion sends a strong message to Moscow. It shows that democratic nations can act decisively together. This collective resolve is Ukraine's strongest shield. Continued support in all forms remains essential. The path ahead for Ukraine remains fraught with uncertainty. The potential for escalated conflict is tragically real. Russia's actions suggest a preference for continued warfare. The slim hope for genuine peace through Istanbul talks dwindles. This is due to Russia's perceived lack of good faith. Sustained international pressure is therefore indispensable. This pressure must be diplomatic, economic, and military. The world must stand firm against unprovoked aggression. The future of Ukraine and European security hangs in the balance. Only unwavering resolve can pave the way to a just peace.
I hope you found this video useful. Follow me right here on YouTube for more great content daily. Download my international best-selling book, Be Good, Be Brief, Be Gone, for absolutely free at growfast.club. I say again, download my book at growfast.club for all of my 7-figure growth hacks. Get your copy now while it's still free.
There it is. Magnum. Holy moly.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
Dear God, it's beautiful.